Welcome to Frost & Sullivan's Growth Podcast. In each episode, we take a deeper look at transformative shifts shaping global ecosystems, from industry megatrends and technology innovation to evolving customer expectations. Today, we're exploring emerging growth opportunities in digital marketing and advertising technology, unpacking where the next wave of opportunity is unfolding and what it means for future-ready businesses.
Let me start with something that might feel uncomfortably familiar. Your organization is running marketing campaigns across 5 platforms. Your analytics dashboard looks impressive. Your team is busy, constantly optimizing, tweaking, launching. And yet, you still don't have a clear answer to one simple question. What's actually driving revenue? That's the paradox of modern marketing. Before the explosion of digital technologies, marketing was simpler. Campaigns were linear. Teams worked in silos, creative, media, analytics, but somehow things held together. Today, we've replaced simplicity with layers of tools, data streams, and automation. As a result, the biggest challenge in digital marketing right now isn't performance, it's complexity. And here's the truth. Most organizations are trying to solve that complexity by adding even more tools, which only makes things worse. So before we talk about where to invest in 2026, we need to confront something deeper. Are your teams solving the right problems, or just adding more to it?
For years, marketing systems relied on one core idea: track users, target them with third-party cookies, measure everything. That system is now breaking down. Let's unpack why. First, identity is no longer owned by marketers. Consumers are taking control through privacy-first ecosystems and personal data vaults. The era of invisible tracking is fading. Second, the advertising supply chain is under scrutiny. Too many intermediaries, too little transparency, and too much wasted spend. Enterprises are now aggressively consolidating. Third, video consumption has fundamentally shifted. Connected TV is overtaking linear TV, but fragmentation across platforms is creating chaos instead of opportunity. Fourth, the metrics we relied on, clicks, impressions, are losing meaning. They were convenient, not accurate. And finally, sustainability is no longer optional. Carbon impact is now part of media planning, not an afterthought. The question then is, how will you build investment strategies that help eliminate inefficiencies in your current marketing stack?
Now here's where things get interesting. Because disruption doesn't just create challenges, it also creates opportunities. And 2026 is full of them. We're seeing the rise of agentic AI, systems that don't just automate tasks but make decisions autonomously. Think of AI not as a tool, but as a digital team member driving campaigns toward revenue goals. Then there's retail media networks. They're no longer just ad channels. They're becoming full-fledged revenue ecosystems, blending commerce and advertising seamlessly. Another big shift? Attention as a currency. Instead of paying for impressions, brands are starting to pay for actual engagement, seconds of attention, minutes of interaction. Then we have generative creative optimization. Content creation is no longer static. It's dynamic, personalized, and continuously evolving. And quietly, but importantly, privacy-safe technologies like on-device auctions are redefining how targeting works without compromising user trust. Each of these isn't just a trend, they're investment signals, signals pointing toward where budgets will shift next. So do you have the tools and frameworks to implement the right MarTech solutions for your 2030 growth goals?
Let's step inside a typical marketing organization. There's a CRM system, a marketing automation platform, multiple ad platforms, analytics dashboards, maybe a customer data platform layered on top. Individually, each works. Together, not so much. Data doesn't flow cleanly. Customer journeys feel fragmented, and teams spend more time aligning systems than driving outcomes. This is where the idea of unified revenue intelligence comes in. It's a shift from campaign thinking to revenue thinking, from channel optimization to end-to-end orchestration, data collection to actionable intelligence. In this model, media buying, engagement, and conversion don't operate separately. They function as a single coordinated system. Because in reality, customers don't experience your organization in silos. Why should your systems operate that way? And the companies that get this right? They're not just optimizing marketing. They're redefining how revenue is generated.
Before chasing new opportunities, it's worth asking, what's actually slowing down your digital marketing initiatives today? Because often, the biggest barriers aren't external, they're internal. First, interoperability. Many organizations are running a patchwork of legacy tools that simply don't talk to each other. Second, the shift to first-party data. It sounds strategic, and it is, but it's also operationally complex. Collecting, managing, and activating that data responsibly is harder than it looks. Third, ad fraud and invisible leakage. A portion of your budget is likely disappearing into non-human traffic or opaque supply chains. And here's the thing. These issues don't just reduce efficiency, they quietly erode trust in your own data, which leads to slower decisions and missed opportunities. The question then is, which growth processes and partnership strategies will help your teams rise above these challenges?
Now let's shift from problems to best practices. Because the teams that are winning today aren't necessarily spending more, they're operating smarter. First, they're embracing agentic orchestration. AI isn't just assisting, it's aligned with revenue targets and pipeline goals. Second, they've stopped separating creative and media. Instead, they run them together, enabling real-time optimization and faster execution. Third, they rely on closed-loop measurement, not who clicked, but who bought. Fourth, they focus on optimizing existing tools before adding new ones, because simplification often drives more value than expansion. And finally, they're rethinking video monetization, not just ads, but experiences, shoppable formats, interactive content, seamless commerce. What ties all of this together? A shift from managing tools to orchestrating outcomes.
Let's bring this full circle. If there's one takeaway from everything we've discussed, it's this. The future of digital marketing isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, better, faster, and more intelligently. Your 2026 growth strategies should therefore focus on integration over addition, intelligence over information, outcomes over activity. Because the winners in this next phase won't be the ones with the most tools. They'll be the ones with systems that connect data, decisions, and revenue into one continuous loop.
That's all for today. Thanks for joining us on Frost & Sullivan's Growth Podcast. For access to our research, competitive benchmarking, and best practice frameworks, head over to frost.com or email hello@frost.com. We'll be back soon with more to help you stay clear-headed and growth-ready.